I just got a notification. So I have yarn here. I don't often buy kits or yarn to make projects all the time because I've been trying to stash bust for a long time. But it's wild because I couldn't resist this one. I've never used Lion Brand collection yarn, so this was like a fantastic opportunity. I took advantage of a sale. I love Natalie of Detroit Knots. Hint, hint, that's something that I'm making. And this yarn arrived before my design yarn. So shall I play first? I don't know. But let's go get it. It says it's in the mailbox, but we'll see. It is. I don't think I can resist. I don't think I can get any work done until I open it and see the yarn. So let's just do it. I just love their labeling. Cotton bamboo. Look at the little bamboo strips. Look at that beautiful logo. Oh. So the colorway I got was Hyacinth. I had put a poll on my Instagram, and this is what everybody chose. I just love all of the font. It's the most beautiful yarn label I've ever seen. So I already got the pattern digitally. Hello again, friends. I started another project last night because I was thinking I need something to work on when I go to DFW Fiber Fest this weekend, and I don't really have anything on the needles or hook. So here I am, already getting carried away. I have had this project set aside to get. I got the kit from Lion Brand to make Natalie Thomas of Detroit Knots split tank, and obviously it's totally a summer make and we are creeping into fall, so but you know, it's in the 90s still here in Texas, and cotton is a year-round fiber for me. This design is made with Lion Brand collection cotton bamboo. I've never actually gotten any of the collection yarns, so it was definitely interesting to try it. How I feel about it so far, I feel like, okay, so this is 52% cotton and 48% rayon from bamboo. And maybe because of that, it feels more like washcloth cotton, you know? I mean, it's not, like, it's definitely wearable, I think. But after just working with like Trubu and Kobu, I feel like those seem way more luxe to me. And I feel like Lion Brand collection is supposed to be more luxe yarns. I have not blocked this. I didn't even block my swatch. So this is not solid feedback. Like, I'll find out later when I wash this whether it is way more luxurious than the other. It was already very weird in swatching it too, on like, because I was getting not enough width for the stitches, but it was getting way too much height for the rows. So then I just like stretched it to make it more square, and sure enough, it was perfection. So I got to use the same hook size that Natalie suggested, which I am using a 4.5 millimeter. This is a Clover Amore. I am a Susan Bates kind of gal, but I also really do love Clover Amore. I feel like I'm washing clothes in the background in case you're wondering if that is coming through on the noise. but I feel like Clover Moor is the nice beauty between tapered and inline hooks. And something about this type of metal that they use has a nice flow, like a nice little slide for whatever kind of fiber you're working on. And then I love the rubber also. So yeah, I guess I maybe will have this done before the weekend is even up. Then what will I work on? No, I'm about to do my nails, so there's no way I'm gonna have this done. Tomorrow I'm going to be yarn bombing at the DFW Fiber Fest, which is wild that is a volunteer item to do. This will be my 3rd time ever doing it, so I'm looking forward to that. And Thursday, you know, I'll still be prepping, I guess, for the weekend. And Friday morning, I'm off to go hang out with my friend Stacy all weekend long. We got a hotel, and we'll be at the vendor hall all weekend. So hopefully I'll be able to take you along with me during that. And I feel like if I'm deep into this project, that, you know, one project, it might get done over the weekend. Socializing, I feel like, will slow me down on the progress of this, but I almost feel like I better figure out what kind of backup project am I gonna have. Anyway, I'm excited to finally get this going.
I did not get much stitching done, but I am masking my feet to get ready for tomorrow. Friday, Stacy, Natalie, and I got a lot of stitching done during the Gregory Stitch event.
I totally missed everybody.
Okay, I'm gonna suck up against the roof.
Cheers! Cha-cha-da!
We're very gentle. We're like, yeah.
Considering it's the last day of the event, I don't think I'm gonna be getting this project done this weekend. I am still happy with my progress though, considering that I got 2 panels and the ribbing started, or so I thought. I had to frog this ribbing because it's supposed to go down the bottom, not up the top. I finished her. it only took like an extra day's work, minus I haven't weaved in any ends, but only like an extra day's work. So although I didn't get it done in the weekend's festivities because I wasn't stitching the entire time as I thought I would, and normally I can talk and stitch at the same time, but I don't know, just something about all the excitement had me avoiding it, as well as this is kind of a hard pattern to really read and understand because it's very unique construction. So in my brain, I was really having a hard time understanding. Uh-oh. Okay, sorry. My stepdaughter is getting married, so there's always daily excitement on FaceTimes and phone calls. And so I got myself a little dolled up, and I'm gonna go ahead and take some photos, some FO photos, even though I have ends like dangling everywhere. Surely I can hide them. You think I can hide this one? Yeah, so I'm coming on here to basically say I have it done. I feel like I could have got it done over the weekend if I didn't spend time having the most fun with people, but it was worth it. I just basically had, I had the 2 panels done over the weekend, and then I just had to add like the ribbing part. So this bit and then the sleeve holes. And last night I lost light while out, so I just finished a little bit of a sleeve this morning, but I would essentially call it like the ribbing is basically one day's work for me. So let's talk about what I was saying on some confusions in the pattern. There aren't like really photos to designate like where she's wanting you to stitch and work and whatnot. So I found it to be very hard for me to really understand and picture where it was going. So I looked on like her Ravelry listing to look specifically at the pictures to really understand more. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the parts that like I was confused on that might help you with some clarity if you make this. Because initially I was wondering like why she was doing the construction the way she was doing. Because you make what I was initially calling the loincloths. So this part, and it's from this to down. So this part, and it's twice. So the other for the back. Okay? And then I was thinking it would end up start working like in the round, joining. I didn't realize like these join here, the ribbing. So I thought that was interesting. Like I thought we'd be making like these and then the back piece. But yeah, so I actually, after the fact now, love the construction of it all. And now that I understand how it works, I think that it was a pleasure to do that way. So yeah, and the yarn is still weird in the way of the blocking business. I think that maybe when I wash this, it might be a little bit different. It definitely needs it. But as I was working with it, I also felt like the softness was a lot better. And maybe because I haven't been working with the Trubu and I was just working with this, like I was done with the Trubu. And the Trubu is just insane. There's nothing like that kind of softness, so you can't even compare. But I do feel like it's better than a washcloth now. I feel like it has a durability, but also like the smoothness. I will say, although this construction of fiber seems to stay together a little bit better than like Trubu or Kobu does, it's still a splitty. Like no matter what, cotton and bamboo, if you're going to work with them, they have an aspect to them that are splitty. It doesn't cling to each other. It's not a fiber that clings to each other as much as like wool does. But I love that, and I feel like that's how you get the drape, and I'm never itchy with these types of fibers, so I love them more anyways, and I'm willing to go slower and focus a little bit better to make sure I get all the strands when I'm stitching. If that's annoying to you, you figure out what is worth the sacrifice for you. But for me, I'd rather have like a fiber I'm very comfortable with wearing. And especially out here in Texas, it's lovely.
Okay, so you make that part, like I was saying, and then you make the back piece like up here. So the back piece is very, well, maybe we did the front piece first. I don't know. Either way, I think we maybe did the front piece first. So on these, I felt like, oh, okay. Well, when it came to down here and we were making like the curve pieces, I felt like when it wasn't really described, because you have to slip certain stitches and then start stitching across, and it isn't like short rows, but it kind of is like short rows to get these kind of curves, but like get this kind of curve. Like this in the ribbing is legitimately like short rows, but yeah, so I got confused, and there's not really any stitch counts given in this part. So I just went with what I felt like was going well. And I will say that the curve is there, so it must have went well, but I don't know if it's the same as in the back. The two panels might not be the same. Either way, I think it works. I think it's still beautiful. I love the racer back idea. I do think, because I made a size medium, I think I might, I'm seeing stars. I hope I'm not getting a migraine. I do think that the racer back thing is amazing, and I made a size medium, so I might need to wear like a little bralette under this, or maybe when I wash it, it'll shrink up a little bit here. We'll see. Because it's cotton, and I'll probably put it in the dryer, and we'll see how everything really in. Okay, so then these parts here, I'm trying to remember I feel like this was pretty good. This was pretty easy going on figuring out these and then going on to the straps here. Once we started on the ribbing part, that's where I gained the confusion again. Oh, that's what I was saying on the confusion. So when you have like the loincloth thing, I hate saying it like that, but it's kind of it's kind of like it. So she says like to connect to the opposite side of the foundation row, but I was confused as to like, because this is the foundation row, and she says you're going to work towards your shoulders. So I was thinking maybe like wherever you ended up at, you needed to go to the opposite side of it, because to get like your rows to go back and forth in this same kind of stitch texture. But you'll notice like there's a divide there because the foundation row always looks different. I think it's fine. I feel like the separation is just like an added design element to it. But if you don't want it to be as defined like that, probably do chains and then stitching back into it. And it might pick up and look cleaner than a foundation row would. So that was a little bit confusing about where to pick up on that. I made it work, figured it out, and everything worked out, as you can see. And then I had another confusion part when it came down to doing the ribbing, because as I was doing, I was doing the back side because that's what I ended with. Yeah, so we started with the front and then did the back panel. And when I attached on that and was doing it and I started the ribbing, I ended up going up across the top part instead of going down and around. And I was very confused too, because it says like you have to single crochet like a border around it all, and I was thinking literally around it all. So I did it all the way around the top piece and come around and slip stitch and then like start the ribbing to go down. So later I didn't have to do the like neck edging or anything like that. Like I already have all of that on there. And so I really think that is better to do anyways. And then like I didn't have to do it on the sleeve bit here too. Like I could just like connect my, like go ahead and start and connect my ribbing, because like this part I also had like the stitch holes from the tops of those from foundation or from chaining And I single crocheted in the back bumps when I first started it. So it was very easy to just stitch right into those stitches to start these ribbings. So then when the ribbing came around, like I did it and I did all the way up instead of all the way down. So I had to frog all that. And when I got down, you have to do these like full rows and shorter rows. And that's how you get like the ability to curve here. So you'll see this like little arrow looking thing. So I have two, one right here and one right here. When I looked at her pictures, she has two like that. Two like that. So she said to do them at the stitch markers. So my stitch markers are like there, and then the curve is like there. And I saw in her pictures that it was there, but on the, like, it doesn't necessarily, like the way the repeats are on how many times to do it from one stitch marker to another, it only gave like 2 spots. And so that was very confusing to me. I feel like I did it right. I don't know if that's repeated right on there, and it doesn't necessarily say fasten off like the back panel after the ribbing, and it doesn't say where to stop. It says like you start here and then you're going, and it says to do all the stitches. It doesn't say like stop at the other stitch, like armpit or whatever. It says just to do all the stitches, but really you have all these stitches here. So that part was a little bit confusing. But I guess when you see the picture, it's kind of self-explanatory. So that, I mean, I guess that helps. Like you have to have a little sense to yourself to know. Yeah. So these, I did, like she said, match. Also, like it didn't say to fasten off and do it on the second panel. It just like instantly said to match or stitch the ribbings, like 5 inches of the ribbing here, and then to seam, like also match or stitch like the shoulders here. But I just like, you ought to repeat the second one to be able to do that. So, I mean, those are the only confusing matters. I would say like you'll do the short row parts at the stitch markers and then at the curve. And then you just do the ribbing all the way around at each of those. But I will say this is super freaking wearable. 11 minutes or 12 minutes it took for me to explain all this stuff to say I actually do recommend making this. I've wanted it for so long. Now we're going into like cool fall, but it's fine. I feel like this would look really fabulous with a jean coat. It is now time for me to go take some finished object photos so I can edit this vlog, and then you can see it and comment about how you love it and about how you want to make it, right?